Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. So this is actually going to be an observation video. An individual came to me and he has noticed that there are certain things going on between him and his partner in the sexual department, in the sex department. So uh, he wants to know what is going on with her. So the thing is that for one, emotionally, she has checked out. So anything that she shows you, because my thing is that intuitively you've been picking up like on slight fake vibes, right? But at the same time, this may be somebody that you have been with for a while. And you really love this person and you know them to love you, but there have been weird things happening, I'm going to say within the last year or two within her behavior. A lot of it you have been overlooking. But then there are certain situations to where from your own observation and your intuition, it's more so instinct. I do think that you are intuitive, but I think that you're more instinctive. You're very physical. Okay. So I pick up, there's a lot of questions that you just have because it's kind of like, why doesn't she initiate? I think that at one point in time, for years, depending on how long y'all been together, and if y'all haven't been together very long, in the beginning, it seems like there was a lot of desire between the two of you, you know, and you've noticed how the flame is dying out. And I think, I feel like a part of me feels like you have been overlooking, like in a neglectful way, you know, like there may have been um she may have maybe voiced her concerns about certain things. She may have tried to open up and talk to you about certain things, but then there's a part of me too to where it's just like she doesn't know how to be honest with you because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. And a lot of women do this, especially in the department of sex, to where when they have a problem with intimacy with their partner, they won't say anything or they'll fake it. And women do this out of it's not necessarily respect, but just more so of consideration, because sometimes he may not hit it, he may not be hitting on nothing one day, but there are many times that he has been hitting on something, and then sometimes it's kind of, women are forgiving because it's kind of like, well, we got time, he has time to get it right. Some women, they don't play that shit at all. They're going to say something. Some are going to be nasty about it and some are going to be understanding about it, but they want to say something. Some women are going to be, most women are usually very quiet. But with a situation, when it comes to intimacy, this is how women get pushed into their heads. Because I don't care what the situation is, what the circumstance is, if you're going to choose to be with somebody, you should be open and honest with them. Especially if you're thinking about, or if you guys are married, if you're spending the rest of your life with this person. So um I just kind of feel like she may have tried to open up to you about certain things, but either you don't know what to do, or you just act like you ain't hear her. If that's not the case, then to be quite honest, it just kind of seems like the flame has died. She does not enjoy being intimate with you for whatever reason. I mean, I don't know. She When she has um an experience that I have had within this observation, she's thinking about another man, but it's not like she's thinking about him imagining that she's with him, if that makes sense. She's not having sex with you thinking about another man, but it's like she is having sex with you thinking about another man, which means that there's something on her mind about another man to where she's not in the present. She's more so in her head. So it could be a father, it could be a brother, it could be a friend. Maybe she met somebody a while ago, maybe he sparked something in her, but that died out very quickly, so she's maybe upset with him in her mind, but her body is there with you. Emotionally, she's gone. She's tapped out, and she is. It's like you cannot pull her in, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. Honestly, I don't think that she's cheating. Um, I don't think that she's cheating. She maybe, if somebody is sick, if somebody is going through something, if there's a man in her life that is important to her, and maybe he's going through things, that's what's on her mind. If you know that, and you kind of see sex as a way to maybe relax her or get things off of her mind, that's not going to work, right? So maybe you want to try a different approach, because I do pick up that at one point in time, this was a very sexually charged union, you know. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, it doesn't matter what's going on, you know, she should still be able to hone it. Well, for I can tell she's an older woman, you know. I think I think when it comes to a younger woman, you know, a younger woman can, she can be in it. But you know, a older woman, she's more established, she's more mature, she's more in touch and in tune, you know, with her thoughts and her world, you know. So she's not just able to just jump in the sack and forget all of her problems. That also says that she doesn't feel safe with you emotionally, you know. So there is definitely an emotional disconnect between the two of you. If you want to take a different approach, you know, then you can sit her down. You know, it's kind of like bringing more of the friendship to the forefront, bringing more of the comfort to the forefront, you know, just kind of reassuring her, making her feel safe. Now, I pick up that you may be like a provider. So it's kind of like, you know, in the mind of a provider, their money is supposed to be fixing everything, you know? So, and I mean, realistically, it doesn't fix everything, but for me personally, I think that it should be able to fix shit too. Because if I'm taking financial burden off of you and providing you with, you know, money, materials, tools, things in which that you need to be able to take care of you, to handle whatever needs to be handled, then your focus should be on you and getting you together. One thing that I learned about being with a provider, you know, you got to be, you have to be independent within yourself, you know, as the quote unquote dependent one. You know what I'm saying? Um, I want to be able to say that what this person is going through, I mean, but like I said, you know, realistically, money does not solve everything. You know, sometimes, you know, it comes off as having the resources to be able to create instant gratificating temporary escapes, you know. But you always come back to the heart, you know. Home is where the heart is. So whatever is going on within her heart, she always comes back to that. It doesn't matter what's happening, what's going on, like none of that matters. It's still going to be there. It's still going to be affected. There are a lot of very unhappy people who are materialistically and well off, wealthy, you know, but there is this, sometimes there is this void in which that individuals feel, you know, for the moment. When you're making your money work for you, it's all good. But once that moment is over, or sometimes you even find yourself, you know, you tell yourself, I'm going to feel better if I get this car, if I get this house. But then when you get it, there's still this hollow emptiness within you. It's you know, you cannot escape yourself. She cannot escape how she feels, the things in which that's going on within her heart. Now, I'm not really able to pick up on what else she has going on. I mean, I can tell she's in her head about a man. And it's not in a good way. It's not like, oh, she's mentally cheating on you. She's not doing that. You know, whoever this man is has her numb. Maybe it's somebody she works with, you know, maybe somebody tried to come for her job, maybe somebody said something to her. You know what I'm saying? She may be dealing with things that she's not talking to you about, you know. But at the same time, her body is going through changes too. I did pick up on that as well. You know, it's kind of like during the times of intercourse, it's like she feels really uncomfortable within her body. So, I mean, it could be something going on with health, because I picked up like a lot of gas. You know, I picked up on a lot of gas. And it's kind of like she feels like she's going to poop, or she feels like she's going to like defecate on your penis or something like that. And, you know, that's a very uncomfortable feeling. It was very uncomfortable. It was very tight. You know, it was very uptight. You know, but the main thing that I felt, it was like gas. There may be something going on with the ovaries. You know, sometimes, I mean, it could be something as simple as, you know, it's just a misunderstanding. Maybe she's about to come on her cycle. and so her ovaries are a little more tender, down there it's a little more sensitive. So, in my experience, I've noticed how sometimes a man, it's kind of like he can make a woman's cycle come faster. Like if they have sex before she's about to come on her period, it's kind of like it comes a little faster. Like he's helped pump the egg down or some shit like that, you know. So I mean, it could be something like that, but it's more. I just feel it in her body and in her head. Okay. It just so there's a man in her head, but there are things going on with her body. I think it's just time to get healthier. If she is an older woman, she's just noticing that she's going through some changes, and maybe she needs to eat a little differently. I'm 37. My body has gone through changes too. My body has gone through changes too. You know, um, so, when I was younger, I never had issues with, um, I don't know, because I'm gonna tell you, sometimes men will have you so open that you pay attention to things that you never paid attention to. Sometimes a man is kind of like he's in total control. Like when she's submissive to you, you're in total control of her body, to where her body will do things, that she's not in control of. You know, um, Me personally, if I eat a lot of fried foods, if I eat a lot of greasy foods, I get bloated very easily. You know, so during times of intimacy, sometimes I have experience like breaking wind or something. And I mean, I don't know. That comes from the food though. So I mean, when I found out that I had pre-diabetes, of course, I switched up my diet. You know, and in the beginning phases of switching over the diet, it was kind of like when I first became a vegan, I used to have so much gas, and it just used to come out, and I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand what was going on with my body. And I think that I had to deal with this from anywhere for like 2 to 3 months, to where with transitioning over to be a vegan, it was just gassy as hell. And I was embarrassed because I never knew when it was coming. It would just come out. I'd be at the store, and it would just come out. And during this time, I was eating like a lot of leafy greens. So, it just smelled terrible. It smelled like kale and sewage, you know? So even with switching over to my Mediterranean diet, I'm noticing how there are changes going on within my stomach as well. And like just kind of being bloated in the beginning, right? But the thing is that, I know how to take care of all of that, because ginger is the number one thing that helps with the stomach, that helps with the gas, that helps with the bloating too. So that's why I say, I think her her mind is somewhere else, but her body needs her attention. She did this. I don't know if this man, somebody may have did something to her body. Oh, and when I say that, like he may have put some type of stress on her. That's what I'm saying. It's like a boss. It could be a coworker, a colleague, a father, a brother, a uncle, somebody like that. So the thing is that you have to get her to open up her mind to talk to you and share with you. So obviously, her mind is connected to her vagina, and then on top of that, with going through things within her body, is you know, it's like something heavy is in her, something heavy is on her. Her heart is heavy, her mind is heavy, and it's coming through her body. And you are noticing through experiencing her sexually. So it's not like a red flag, like, oh, she's cheated, or she's messing with another man. Emotionally, she has checked out, but it's not because of another man. It's not because of that. It's because of what is going on with her. She got some things going on with her that, she needs to, like, I just feel like it's things going on that you cannot help her with. It has to come from her. So I would advise that maybe, she gets more nutrition, within her diet, you know, just start eating more leafy greens. Just like her plates should start looking more colorful. You know what I'm saying? Um, Cause I did, you know, I felt like I was just like, why does it feel like my stomach is just full of so much grease? And then I got a vision of like a bunch of fried foods. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is that even if, well, no, I'm going to encourage you that you support her on her switching up her diet. You know, in my household, my son, he's kind of like in and out. You know, he wants to eat healthier. So when I cook him healthy things, he will eat it. But you know, like his dad, he cooks like the heavier types of foods. The number one thing that he likes to cook the most is fried chicken. So with me and having my new meal plan, you know, I just kind of improvise, you know, like I'll take the chicken, take the meat off and put it into my salad or something. You know, if there is some type of void, right? Because a lot of the times we like to fill the void with food, you know. So and that has nothing to do with if you're an emotional eater or not. You know, whenever we are experiencing a deep void that we are trying to avoid, you'll notice how your eating habits change because you begin to crave like texture, right? So this is when you kind of see people, you know, on the ASMRs to where they have the pickles. They put the Takis and the pickles. They got the fruit roll up on the outside of the pickle, you know, or with the ASMRs, you'll see they have like jelly, like a jelly ball, and they'll put pop rocks on it, or they'll put something with, you know, something different, like a different texture. So it's like when we start trying to like mix different textures of foods together, you may have a sandwich and put chips on the sandwich because you want a crunchy sandwich. Those are signs of a void. Okay. So um if you notice like her eating habits are a little different or a little strange, because I feel like a part of you is trying to figure out, is she pregnant too? She's not pregnant. You know, I don't pick up any signs of pregnancy. I pick up signs of it's time for development, whatever that means. So when it comes to the void, you know, when we start mixing those different textures, it has a lot to do with the mouth. So during the time of her earlier development as a infant, this has a lot to do with the oral, and it has a lot to do with the genitals. So that tells me that she's having trust issues. So she could be, maybe you triggered her and made her think of somebody from her past. You know what I'm saying? And she's thinking about that person and she's thinking about the negative things. You know, maybe she's comparing you to those negative things. Maybe the question is for you, you would be asking, well, why is she worried about that in the first place? I have no idea, you know, because I don't pick up on anything about you. It's like you're just there humping on her. You know, she's just doing what she has to do to cover up what's really going on within her. You know, but she's thinking about that guy. I mean, I don't know. She's been triggered though. Something has triggered her. So, but she doesn't desire to be with another woman. I mean, another man. You know, she's upset. Maybe she's upset with you. You know, shit, maybe you could be the man on her mind. Maybe you did something and she didn't want to say anything, you know, but you feel it. You're just like, well, why are you not saying? Maybe she doesn't want to mess up the mood or what have you. You know, I don't know. I could tell she does not want to have sex with you though. I can tell. It's kind of like with me observing her, you're not even there. You're just somebody humping on her. Physically, mentally, and emotionally, she's not there. Well, physically she is, but I'm talking about she's not even present within her own body. But having sex with you, she's starting to notice, you know, there's just something uncomfortable. She's just uncomfortable. It's trust issues. Okay, so when it comes to development, when it comes to the oral and the genitals, that has a lot to do with trust issues. So she may not be trusting you, or maybe there's somebody that she works with and she's just like, I don't trust that motherfucker. If it's her father, if it's her brother, I do not trust them. But when it comes to someone who's close to her, a man who's close to her is going to bother her more, especially if it's a family member, because she may have known this family member for a long time. And it's kind of like she's realizing that she cannot trust that person. You know, there are no thoughts swimming within her head. It's more so of uncomfortable, like confliction. I don't know what to do about this person. So, maybe you can help her out with organizing what's going on within her mind. Maybe you can sit her down and you guys have a conversation. If you guys have had a conversation, if you know who I'm talking about, if you know what's going on, you may have had conversations before, but maybe you just need to accept that it's going to affect your love life for a little bit, because it's not you, it's her. It's something that she has to deal with within her. But you can assist her by being encouraging, by being patient. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say too much because I don't know too much. Okay. So I mean, yeah, that's gonna be it. Okay, so until next time, we'll talk again. Thank you. Okay, so we're going into couple observation 2. So it's going to be very similar to observation 1. However, it is the opposing opposite, to where you have the woman, she is messing around, and whenever she is having sex with her partner, she is thinking about another man. This woman is very upset. She cannot stand it. She cannot stand this man. She cannot stand having sex with him. She absolutely hates this man. And but the thing is that she needs security. So obviously this man must be providing for her. And it's kind of like she's trying to transition her life instead of being honest and saying, hey, this is not working for me, or trying to figure out how they can work things out. She has checked out completely. She has a man on her mind. She's mad at this man because she thought she was going to be able to leave this man for you, for the man that she's with. And it's not happening that way. You know, she's really upset. I pick up she's upset with herself because I think that she embarrassed herself in front of this man. There's definitely something mentally off about this woman, because the thing is that I pick up a whole storyline to where you know who this man is. She introduced you to him. She told him she told you about him. She may have made it seem like they were going to be working together. They were working together, but she was messing around with him. So, she's focused on him, trying to bag him so she can leave you. And the thing is that it didn't happen that way. And she ended up, when she realized it was not going to happen for her, she ended up turning on this man. She ended up turning on him and trying to either mess up his business, mess up his reputation. She lied to you about a lot of stuff that happened between her and this man. And I think that if court was involved, or if she was trying to bring this man down, whatever she was trying to do, she wasn't successful at it. And so she's very upset about that. Okay? So, but the thing is that her feelings never left him. So it's like she's mad at herself that she did all of that, because now there's something about this woman to where she's very egocentric. She has to feel like a prize. She thinks that she's more than what she really truly is. You know what I'm saying? And her arrogance, it just makes her look so unattractive, but she doesn't understand how she looks in the eyes of other people. Then on top of that, I do pick up that she's like a nasty bitch. So, and then she tried to make it seem like she was just so sweet. She was the type of girl, the type of woman that any man would want, but she really showed her ass. Ever since that she has separated from this man, she has been reflecting on how dumb she made herself look. Okay? So she's really upset with herself and she's trying to be upset with him. It's kind of like you are in the way of her thoughts, because she's trying to figure things out in her head, and it's kind of like you're like a pest to her. To her, you're always wanting something, you're always needing something. She's very irritated and aggravated just with everything, but especially you, because the plan was to get away from you. And so she feels like everybody is winning in the situation except for her. She feels like a loser. Okay? So she feels like having sex with this man, with you, it's oppressing because it's something that she really does not want to do. Okay? So if you're trying to figure out like why the sex is not good, like why she doesn't seem interested, cuz she don't, sorry to tell you, but she does not want you. She wants to be elsewhere. The more you try, the more you hold on, you only disgust her even more, because that's what she is. She's disgusted. It's not you. She's disgusted within herself, but she doesn't want to feel that about herself. So whoever is around, which is you, is who she wants to put her disgust on. But the thing is that if you really truly knew what she was up to, you would be disgusted by her. So her biggest problem, her issue is she just feels like she's losing in the situation because she just had this grand plan, with her arrogance, because I could pick up she's very arrogant. With her arrogance, I guarantee you that you have noticed that she has like shitted on you a couple of times. You may have tried to overlook it because you're looking at it from a perspective of, well, I mean, she's happy, this is happening for her, she's doing these things, blah 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 blah. But I'm going to tell you something. It don't matter how victorious or how many victories that somebody is obtaining within their life. If you are the one riding next to her, you are the last person who should be feeling under the table. She just upset because she thought she was going to get away from you and she was going to shit on you. And it didn't happen. And she made a fool out of herself. And she wanted to be able to go back, but she can't go back. That man does not want anything to do with her. So, she's suffering in silence to the point to where it's affecting her body. Okay, so if she's experiencing sickness, a lot of things going on with stress, all this type of shit, if she seems anxious and there's a lot of anxiety, you could tell it's a lot on her mind. You can tell. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. That is going to be the observation. Okay. So until next time, we'll talk again.